Hello everybody and welcome to the Army Showcase. The Army Showcase takes a look at different armies from different games. Now in this video, we will have a look at an army for the Bellis Antiquitatis or DBA. Now this army list is from the 3.0 rulebook. The army we will showcase today is from book 3. So this is DBA 3/3/36, the Nan Zhao and Dali 728 to 1382 AD. Now when I asked SL why he chose this army, he told me that when he was visiting Melbourne, he realized that Eureka Miniatures was just 15 minutes away from where he was staying. So a quick browse on the Eureka Miniatures online store and he was quickly interested in the Nan Zhao figures that they had. Also, he says, he had never played an army with a 3 pike before. So that's a good reason. It's very pleasing for me to know that SL also did some conversions with the army he got from Eureka. He took one of the swordsmen in the army, he green stuffed some pants and headgear to the figure, and now this figure would serve as the 4-blade general figure for the army. Personally, I like it when people do simple and effective conversions. I would not have noticed this conversion if he did not tell me, honestly. SL also really likes the cavalry and barding on the Eureka figures. The detail is sharp and deep for the barding, and this helps the wash work into the details. The cavalry also has their lower torso sculpted into the horse. This made attaching the upper body easier for SL and also made it into the things he liked about Eureka Miniatures, apart from the obvious look of the army. So, speaking of armies, let's take a look at this army. This army is made up of a 3-cav general base, a 4-blade general base, 3 cavalry base, a 4 bow base, Siloy base, 4 pike base, 3 pike base, 3 auxilia, 3 crossbow, and 3 warband. Now let's put this army together. You can choose between 3 cavalry or 4 blade as your general, but you must have 2 3 cavalry bases. And then you have a choice between either 2 4 bow or 2 Siloy. You must include 2 4 pike. And then you have a choice between 4 3 pike or 4 3 auxilia. And finally, a choice between 4 crossbow or 3 warband. As you can see, this means that when you're faced off with this army, or if you do own this army, your opponent has a nice variety of configurations that he can set up for each time he plays. And if you own this army, you have many choices to choose from to configure your army based on the enemy you will be facing. Now before I begin, let me just say that this army is called the Nan Zhao and Dali army in the DBA 3.0 rulebook, but the army is also called the Nan Zhao and Dali. The difference is regional and both mean the same army. So who are the Nan Zhao? Nan Zhao is a land to the southwest of the Chinese Yunnan province and lay in between the 2 superpowers at the time, the Tibetan Empire to the west and the Tang Dynasty to the east. Prior to the Nan Zhao kingdom, the area was ruled by 6 tribes or Zhao, most of whom were tributaries of the Tibetan Empire. Now Zhao means decree or proclamation, and in this context can be translated as provinces ruled by local kings or chieftains of non-Chinese origins, but sanctioned by the Chinese imperial court. Around 7 to 8 AD, Piluje, prince of the Mengshi tribe, came to power, and he actively courted the Tang dynasty. With the help of the Tang, Piluje managed to unite the 6 tribes under his banner by the year 737 AD and called the kingdom Nan Zhao, or Southern Zhao. The Tang dynasty granted Piluje the title of Prince of Yunnan. Now, Piluje died in 748, and in 750, the prefect of the Yunnan province attempted to rob Nan Zhao's envoys to the Tang court. Now, in retaliation, the new Nan Zhao king, Ge Lufeng, invaded Yunnan and killed the prefect and seized some nearby Tang territory. Ge Lufeng also ended the relationship with the Tang dynasty and became the vassal of the Tibetan Empire instead, gaining the title of royal brother. In 751, the Tang governor of Jianan, or the Sichuan province, organized a retaliatory strike with 80,000 troops. But the majority were stricken with dysentery upon entering Nan Zhao and were easily defeated by the Nan Zhao in the Battle of Xiaguan in the Xia mountain passes. In 754, the Tang again attempted to invade Nan Zhao, this time from the north and with 100,000 troops. However, because of the difficult terrain, this force was also defeated. Nan Zhao supported the Tibetan Empire in numerous attacks against the Tang and the Arabs. Now, Ge Lufeng's successor, Yi Munzun, grew wary of the repeated Tibetan demands for troops in support of their attacks and switched sides to the Tang in 794. The Nan Zhao Tang alliance quickly captured the Tibetan city of Kunming and 7 other major cities, and even beat back an attack by a large contingent of Tibetan and Abbasid slave soldiers in 801 AD. By the early 9th century, after defeating the Tibetans, the Nan Zhao generals grew in power and the kingdom was in full expansion mode. Nan Zhao expanded into Burma, eradicating the Pyu city-states by 832 AD and enslaved many of its inhabitants. They also attacked and captured large parts of the Tang province of Sichuan and engineered an anti-Tang uprising in Annam province, which is present-day Vietnam. Now, thousands of Chinese artisans and scholars were enslaved and brought back to Dali, the Nan Zhao capital. In 869 AD, the Nan Zhao under King Shilong besieged Chengdu, the capital of Sichuan province, but were unable to take it due to the timely arrival of several Tang relief armies. Another attempt was made in 875, but this expedition failed to even get within 50 kilometers of Chengdu. By 875, the Nan Zhao were on the decline. Tang troops had pushed them back to the original borders and decisively defeated them in the Battle of Dadu River, where the Nan Zhao lost most of their cavalry and had 50 tribal leaders executed. King Shilong passed away in 877, and the new king, Lang Shun, tried to negotiate for peace with the Tang through a marriage alliance. This was finally agreed to in 880 AD. However, by that time, the Tang emperor was only a puppet to the Tang military governors, and the marriage deal did not follow through. In 902 AD, the Nan Zhao kingdom was suddenly ended when Prime Minister Zheng Maisi murdered the entire royal Nan Zhao family and usurped the throne, establishing the Dan Changshe kingdom. Thereafter, the Nan Zhao went through a series of short-lived kingdoms: the Da Shangje from 902 to 928, the Da Tianxing 928 to 929, Da Yining 929 to 937, before Duan Siping formed the Dali kingdom in 937 to 1253 AD. Now, Dali means the great truth or the great administration. The Da-Li kingdom lasted until 1253 when it was conquered by the Mongols. This finally resulted in the end of the Nan Zhao Empire. This history, of course, is an oversimplification of the history of the Nan Zhao leading to the Da-Li kingdom, and I do recommend you to start at the Wikipedia entry as a starting point if you want to learn more. And I can assure you of a busy few hours of reading. The look of this army is very, very beautiful, bright colours for the royals and the elites, but even the colours of the common unit pop as well. SL's technique of painting, washing, and then highlighting helps him achieve this bright look. Just a quick note on the army, Nan Zhao had an elite vanguard unit called the Lu Juzi, which means son of tigers or tiger brothers. They were reputed to have gone into battle in red armor and bronze shields, but went barefooted. Now in DBA 3, they are represented by the 2 4-pike elements. I was told that SL initially only wanted to put decals only on the general figure on the 4-blade element base and paint the rest of the peak of the 4-pike shields as pictured, but the decals turned out to be so good looking that he did it for all of the 4-pike. And while we're talking about the 4-pike, this army is one of the few in DBA 3 with special rules. The 4-pike can only give rear support to other 4-pike and not to 3-pike. Now, SL also believes that since the Da-Li kingdom were non-aggressive and mainly focused on culture and trade, its aggression should have been dropped to 0, making the army aggression 3 between 728 to 936 AD and 0 between 937 AD onwards. So that's pretty much the video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed putting it together. Do show your support with a like and subscribe. And yes, don't forget to enjoy painting those figures.